Hi, this is Pete Madsen for Acoustic Guitar, and I'm here to present my lesson on using open strings to solo over blues chord changes. If you're like a lot of guitarists, you have started off using pentatonic or blues scales in your playing, and as you get used to playing those, you might say, hey, it just sounds like scale tone, so how can I make this a little more interesting? So using open strings in your playing can help give it a little bit of a boost, sound more powerful, sound more interesting. So we're going to be playing here in the key of G. I'll show you a series of exercises using open strings, and at the end we'll do a 12-bar solo that would be played over G, C, and D chord changes. In example 1, we have a minor pentatonic scale played in the key of G. Now, if you already know that scale, great. A couple pointers for how to practice the scale. You can try, if you're picking using a flat pick, using alternate picking, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, so on. Also, remember to keep your thumb in the back of the neck, especially for these low strings. If your thumb starts writing up here, like if you can see my thumb poking out, I'm more likely to pull my low strings slightly sharp, so it'll sound out of tune. So thumb back and alternate pick. Okay, so for the use of these open strings, we're going to take a less of a vertical approach, meaning going from low strings to high strings, and work more of a horizontal approach, which will basically walk up and down on one or two strings, the 4th string and the 3rd string. So in example 2, I'm going to play similar scale tones, but I'm going to use the open 3rd string as a drone. So here's example 2. Again, I'm using a down-up approach to my picking down on the 4th string and picking the open 3rd string up. In example 3, I'm going to expand that those notes played on the 4th string to use the 5th string. This is example 3. You notice I'm adding one more note to the scale on the 4th fret of the 5th string. That is the flat 5, and adding this to a minor pentatonic scale is often referred to as the blues scale. So you have a root, a minor 3rd, a 4th, a flat 5, a 5, flat 7, root. Here's example 3 again. This time, instead of just using my flat pick, I'm actually using hybrid picking, which means I'm using the pick to play the fretted notes and using my finger, in this case I'm using my middle finger, to play the open 3rd string notes. Kind of a more efficient way to play through that. You can play a little faster rather than having to skip over from, like, say, the 5th string with your pick over to the 3rd string. In example 4, I'm going to play just on the 3rd string and use pull-offs to the open 3rd string. Do that again. I'm pulling the string down so that in this case, my index finger is landing on the 2nd string. So actually pulling the string down and then landing on that second string, and that will keep that open string ringing. In example 5, I'm going to be using a triplet run, which will have a hammer on the 4th string and then the open 3rd string. Now, if you're not used to playing triplets, you can count this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Example 6. I'm playing 2 strings that are 1 string apart, or 2 strings apart, I should say. Using that open 3rd string again as a drone while I'm playing 9th and 8th fret on the 4th and 2nd string, then 7th and 6th fret, then the 5th fret, and 3rd fret. Okay, so we're going to piece all these ideas together over a 12-bar blues. I want to show you the rhythm I'm going to be using that would be the proposed background for the solo we're going to do. And it would go like this. I'll make my G chord a little different than you might be used to making the G chord. It's going to be a shuffle. And all I'm doing is fretting the 6th string at the 3rd fret. I'm using my ring finger. And then I'm going to use that finger also to mute the 5th string. So that finger is going to both have 2 jobs, fretting the 6th string and muting the 5th string. And then I'm going to strum through all downstrokes. So I'm hitting 3, sometimes 4 strings. And then alternate between having the open 4th string and the 4th string fretted at the 2nd fret. It sounds like this. For the C chord, I'm going to do a very similar thing. Go ahead and fret a C chord like you would normally fret it, and then take your middle finger off of the 4th string. Use your 3rd finger again to fret the 5th string and mute the 4th string. You could go ahead and fret the 2nd string at the 1st fret like you would normally in the C chord, and this middle finger will toggle on and off on the 3rd string 2nd fret. And then for the D chord, I'm just going to make a 2-fingered version of D. It's called D. Call it D5. And then I will bring my ring finger back and forth onto the 3rd string 4th fret. And that'll be my D chord. So the whole 12-bar rhythm would sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. first 4 bars of our solo are played over a G chord. So I'm sliding in from 3 to 5, which is our root note. And then I play the open third string. Again, our root note. I do a pull off. That's our first phrase. Our next phrase is bar 2. Just taking the 4th string at the 3rd fret and giving it a little bit of a nudge. Not a full half step or full step in, but just a little. Bar 3, same as bar 1. Bar 4, I'm going to bend a half step on the 5th fret of the 3rd string and release. Now, if doing a bend, a half step or a full step bend, if you're not quite sure how that's supposed to sound, play the fret next to where you're bending from. In other words, this is a half step bend. So if I play the note at the 6th fret, that's the note I'm bending up to. That's a good way to just check to make sure you're bending right. I'm also, when I bend, I'm using 3 fingers, index, middle, ring, to back up and really get the most out of that bend. The chord progression changes into the C chord. We're going to use the pull-off lick, similar to what we did in the previous exercises. Just walking up 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, to the 10th fret. I did that all with my first finger. It's up to you kind of what finger you want to use. First finger is the strongest oftentimes. So in the next measure, we're coming back to our G chord. So now we're going to do our open string drone as we walk down on the 4th string. Notice we just, on that 2nd bar, we stay right on G. Those are all G notes, right? In bar 9, we're going to play a country style lick, which will be fretted between 2 strings, so the 4th and 2nd string, and it'll sound like this. I'm picking this down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up. Continuing on, I'm going to keep with this 2-string phrase over the C chord. Same picking, down, up, up, down, up, up, down. And then our final phrase, go over the last 2 bars, would be the last note I end up on is a D, which reflects the tonality of a turnaround going from G to D. Let me play the entire solo one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's my lesson on using open strings in the key of G. If you want to try out different keys to try using open strings, I recommend trying the key of E, key of A, any string really, basically, where you have open string. E, A, D would work. We just did G. B could work. E. So try using open strings and phrases. Try to think of your pentatonics on a more of a horizontal level on one string. Lots of things you can do to use open strings in your playing. Thank you very much.